Pitt, number 9.
Yeah.
He leads the team in sacks and leads the team in interceptions. It's a rare combination.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player. He's very active. He's physical, and just probably their most productive guy. And they bring him from everywhere. You know, again, when you watch these guys, I mean, they got dudes coming from everywhere. Sometimes you see it pre-snap. Most of the time, it's post-snap. You know, that's just what they do. I mean, it's basically cover zero a lot of the times based on how they play, especially if you got any type of run game. You know, that's who they are. But he's a big factor in making it all go for them.
They use him almost like you used to use Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's everywhere. I mean, he'll come. He's outside the box, inside the box. He's dropping. I mean, he does a little bit of everything. He's a good tackler. He's definitely one of their best players on the whole team. Great player.
Given how hard they make it to sort of execute down the field against them, how important is it to get some explosives against that defense?
It's very important. You know, you can't win the game if you don't make some explosives against these guys. Again, they're top 15 team in the country in rush defense. Just simply, I mean, they're gonna force the issue. So you got to be able to win some competitive play. There's going to be some hold on to your, hold your breath moments, because it's body on body, and you got to be accurate, and you got to finish competitive plays. That's just what it comes down to. The flip side of it is if you can get the ball in space, you got a chance to break some tackles. So you got to. It's going to be a really physical game with all of our skill people versus their skill people, and somewhere along the line, you gotta win your matchup. You gotta break a tackle. You gotta make that competitive play. Ball's got to be accurate, and and then Cade's got to be a huge factor. I mean, because it's not always going to be clean. With nature of what they do. I mean, they'll take some chances. But they force you to, and it's hard to be perfect against these guys. By nature of how they bring people. And so all of a sudden, a guy's popping loose. Cade's going to have to be able to make some plays, with his legs from a scramble standpoint. That's just, so you got an opportunity there with some off-schedule plays that if you're going to beat them, you're going to have some of those. Those will be a factor in a game like this.
Coach, over the years, what are some of the best tactics or methods that you've found to keep everybody loose and calm when there's so much on the line in this big game?
We don't do anything different. Just do the same stuff you always do. Honestly, whether you're preparing for the national championship or you're preparing for, an FCS school in the state, it shouldn't be different. I think you create consistency in your routine. You prepare and practice to a standard every day. You have the same sense of urgency, and that, you get the guys to buy in. If you practice right, in the right type of way, when you get to game day, you're ready. And it doesn't matter who you play. It's always about how you play. Doesn't matter who, where, when, what you're wearing, what time the game is, what the weather is. I think when you focus on all the stuff that when you let external factors determine your preparation, determine your focus, determine your play, you're going to be very inconsistent. So, the best thing I can tell you is we don't try to do anything any different. It's the same. We just try to focus on, our practice habits, how we meet, preparing for what we see on tape. Don't make it anything more than that.
Because you talked about Elijah Thurman being a guy who can play all 5 positions. Is he capable of playing guard right now, or is he focused?
Oh yeah. He's played guard. He can play guard for sure. Yeah, he's practiced guard. He can play center. We just haven't used him at center, but he played center in high school. For those of you who maybe watched him a little bit in high school, he's a really special talent. He really is. And again, you don't ever know until you start coaching a guy. Obviously you can see his physical attributes, his athleticism. These are things we all loved about him in the recruiting process, but you don't ever really know till you start coaching a guy, like where are they mentally, and this kid is just, I mean, he's really smart. He understands the game. And again, he's played 5 positions, so he just sees it differently, from a lot of kids. Some guys that come in and, man, it's all you can do to get them to get this one spot, but he's just a natural. It's really going to serve him well as he goes through his football career.
You talked about, again, with Ashton, that he could play multiple positions. In the recruiting process, why did you guys see him as a corner when other people might have thought he was just a safety? Or
just his skill set. I mean, his feet. I mean, he can change direction. He can sink his hips. I mean, he can. You go watch him play basketball. I mean, he's just a great athlete. I mean, yeah, some people just look at his size and they go, he's a definite safety. He can go play safety, but we loved him because we saw him as a guy that could come and give us that really elite size at corner, but also as we develop our group and he develops, really, he gives you that unique ability to play him anywhere, as he goes through his career, and you'll probably see that with him for the rest of his career. I don't think he'll just be a corner throughout his football career. He's really good, but he's one of them guys that's rare that can go cover tight ends. I mean, he can play in the slot. He's got a physical presence to him. I mean, he's a really gifted kid, but again, he's a freshman, and we've tried to really bring him along in a good way, and as you saw, he's got a lot of confidence. He's got a great spirit to him. His dad's a college coach. He's been around ball his whole life, but he's got a lot of confidence. And when you play out there, you got to have, as I say, amnesia, because they went right at him, right, and he guy makes a great play, and man, they come right back at him, and he makes a great play. So, he's got a bright future ahead of him, but definitely gives us a lot of. And right now we've got 3 guys that we feel really good, can get it done for us at corner, and we need more depth. But obviously we lost Shelton, but we got Gibson is really coming along as well. We got 2 games left with him, so hopefully we can get through this game, and then he'll be ready to go. He's finally healthy. He was really behind when he came in here, coming off the surgery, and wasn't able to really do anything in the spring and so forth. So really pleased with the progress that he's made. Excited about him, but that's where we are right now.
Any questions for Coach virtually?
Yeah, Dabo, this is Pete at AP. First of all, it's nice hearing Tim Beret ask some questions. That's always
Come on, Tim.
a positive thing. Also, it seems like every week in college football, a couple of power conferences have these big showdown games where even the loser is still considered part of the picture. And that doesn't seem to be happening as much in the ACC. Does that tick you off a little bit about the perception of this league when there is a lot of good football being played here in this league?
I mean, honestly, I don't waste any energy on that stuff. I'm just locked in on trying to have a good Tuesday practice and beat Pitt. But I agree with you, man. This is a lot of good football. It's a really competitive league. Anybody can beat anybody. I mean, Virginia Tech, we just played a really tough Virginia Tech. Every game for Virginia Tech, that's the worst loss they've had, 10 points. I mean, every game has been a touchdown or less for Virginia Tech. And, their opening game at Vanderbilt, everybody's like, the league stinks. You lost to Vanderbilt. Well, I think Vanderbilt beat Alabama and Auburn. I think they're pretty good. And that was a touchdown game in Nashville, with Virginia Tech. So I just think that, honestly, I think anybody can beat anybody. I mean, on any given day. That's just kind of where we are. Just when you think you don't. I mean, that's where we are in college football right now. It's a lot of parity, but as far as wasting energy and worrying about, all that other stuff, I don't waste any time on that. But it's a great league, and guys are competing their butts off. A lot of good coaches, and I think anybody can play with anybody on any day, in any conference across the board. I really believe that.
Also, Dabo, I guess a couple weeks from now is an earlier signing day than before. How has it impacted how you handle recruiting during the season? Has it changed the way you do things because the signing day has been moved up?
No, it hasn't. I think it's great because it cleans it up a little bit from the portal and all that stuff. It allows you to really focus on getting your class signed, and we don't have a lot of spots. I mean, we really don't have a lot of spots open on our roster. So we like the group that we have, but I think we can really allows you to focus on these kids that are signing early, and then you can turn your eyes and you kind of see it. If you may have some guys leave or whatever, you can kind of see what you need to do on who's back. Again, the only guys that have to leave that are starting for us are on defense, Peyton, Page, RJ, and Barrett. And on the offensive side, it's Marcus Tate, Brenny, and Maffa. Everybody else can be back. So we don't have a lot of spots. Aiden Swanson's got to go, and as far as the starters, so we look at who's back and who we project as starters and who we're signing, and if maybe you have some guys that aren't playing as much or whatever, guys that want to move on, and so then I just think it cleans it up so you can address again your signing, and then you can turn your eyes and see if there's any gaps or any needs that you may have moving forward. And I'm actually glad that they left it open, because originally they were just going to have a December portal window, and I'm glad that they left some time in the spring, because otherwise it's just going to be complete chaos. So roster-wise, we're in a good spot. We like our guys. We anticipate the guys back here that we expect to be back here, but we'll go from there.
What's the number you're kind of chasing to finish in the second?
Well, it's not really. I mean, it's fluid. Again, we don't have many spots. We're over the spots that we have, but you anticipate, a few guys maybe not being here. But we don't have a lot of spots, So we feel great about our roster, and the guys that are going to be back, and some of the development that we've seen in these guys, and we really like our class that we're getting ready to put together. Can't talk about them, but really excited about that group that's going to come in here and fill some spots for us as well.
Got a couple more minutes with Coach.
It's just clarifying Colin Sadler. It seemed like he was day-to-day or week-to-week.
Yeah, he's out. He's out. He had to have surgery. So he was kind of day-to-day and week-to-week there. We thought he might be able to get back, but it just wasn't getting better, and so we just shut him down and went ahead and did the surgery. He's actually feeling a lot better, but I felt terrible for him. He just busted his butt to try to play, and I just hate it, because he's a starter for us. And so again, that's the other thing. I mean, we're on our 5th tackle the other night. You come into the season because we lost Ian Reed out of the gate. We're trying to hold Mason, and I think Mason's got one more game left. And so you're sitting there, but we felt really good about our veterans, and best we felt in a while coming in the season, saying, okay, we got Tristan, we got Blake, we got Sadler, we got Marcus Tate, and then we got this young Elijah that we'll bring along. But we got, at any moment, we got 4 tackles that can go play at a high level, because we feel good about the inside guys that we have, so next thing you know, Sadler's done, Tristan goes out, and Tate's out. So just like that, you got Blake and Elijah. And it's a credit to Elijah and his preparation all season long, and just staying ready. And just it was impressive. It was really impressive. Again, he wasn't perfect early, but he settled in and got really better and better as the game went. And just great job by Matt as well, in having him ready, even though he wasn't playing a ton. He was getting ready to play, and because first move would have been Marcus Tate bumping out there at left tackle against that dude, or if Sadler had been here. But proud of Elijah.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay, appreciate it.
Wes Gooden will join us.